Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lights Out League Racing Season 28, Race 2. And we're on a brand new circuit. It's Silverstone Reverse. And I do apologise, I've just had a quick drink to lubricate my lips. I can imagine sometimes listening to me is like asking a starfish for directions. It doesn't make sense. We've got 17 drivers on the grid. We are missing one or two this week. Barcelona's going to get a big, massive smack on his arse when we hear from him. He's supposed to be showing, and is not. And he's so annoying. He's so annoying. He's the sort of guy, right? He's the sort of guy that eats a banana for the shape and not the taste. I'll leave it there. But his teammate here is Katamise, who is showing up. It's going to be interesting, this race. First time we've done this track. It is new for this game. And I have no idea how it's going to turn out, how many people are practicing. I have an idea, potentially, of pole time. I am under the impression there is no rain. Apparently Martin would cook in this league. He can't even cook toast. Callum's been doing a bit of practicing and he's potentially one of the favourites. It'll be interesting to see if they do go all out in quali or start from the back. But what we will do is the inaugural hot lap of the qualifying session as he goes down turn 1 and 2 of club. And this is going to confuse me to hell. And you want a slow right-hander of Vale. Open up that throttle for the rise and dip of Stowe, where you can go slightly flat out. You're not going at the speeds that you would do on the normal layout. DRS is open as we head up to turn 5 of Chapel. And then it's flicking through the famous corners of Beckett's and Maggots. Yes, I am doing it backwards for the sake of today. And then flat out through Cops. You don't want to go wide through here, otherwise you're not going onto tarmac, you're going onto the grass. As we head up to turn 11 of Woodcote. And then a quick slow down around Luffield. The old end of the lap. Tight entry to Brooklands, again opening up that DRS. There's DRS on this one, isn't there? I'd like to think so. And then a quick flick round of Aintree, and then Luke, which is the slowest corner on the track, out of turn 16 of Village. Then it's flat out round turn 17 and turn 18 of Abbey to cross the line, and it's a 26.5 for Callum, and I think that's going to be a difficult one to beat. That's probably my prediction of what the fastest lap is going to be, as Katamise comes with a 27.6. I've got Sauber coming next. Zombies invalidated as Jax Daniels goes 28.1 in the McLaren. As Catspot comes round, and he's going to be one of those ones fighting up the top. But I don't think he's got the quality pace to get himself up near Callum's pace with a 28.1. So just ahead of Jax Daniels. Sigurt's on his hot lap, so we got the Mercedes guys. So Benja's coming first. He's taken the full seat in the Mercedes alongside Kiza. Will we see any team play from the Mercedes, which is known as Benja goes straight in. Kiza invalidated as well, so it seems like it's a tricky one for some drivers. Zombies invalidated. So we'll check on with Josh, who is going to set a lap and goes up to provisional P5 with a 28.2. Ferrari next of Mapman up to P3 for now, 27.6. Just 2 hundredths behind Katamise. And his teammate slots in behind him. It's going to be a fierce rivalry with the Ferrari boys all season. Dan Morris doing a lap on the inters. Just getting a feel. We've got coming in Amadis and an out lap. That was Katz going up to P4, just splitting the Ferraris, the 27.8 on his first run. We got fanboy for Geezer. He needs to keep himself within the white lines to be able to set a lap. So we've got Seigert who's invalidated, so he's not going to be setting the time. We keep on Lennon for his first race of the season. And what a first race to join. We're literally going back, and he validated already, and that's him done. I know. I think it's a credit to our league if people can't stay away and love the show. I'm not bothered as long as he keeps chat clean. Otherwise, he won't be back every week. If you get my drift. So let's keep an eye on Bellamy then. Who's next one? That's his new name. Hi Dan. Ha ha ha. Morris. That's Bellamy. He's going to be one of the ones fighting for pole. He's self-proclaimed enjoying this track. Finds it quicker going this way round than the original. As he comes to Luffield. Nice smooth line. Sets himself up for... spoke too soon. Invalidated. Wow, wow, wow. So we'll keep an eye on his teammate Brady. Just set the fastest. Middle sector looked like it was immediately eclipsed. Coming out of village. Hi Kevin, how you doing? Across the line, provisional P2 in the Alpine, 27.6. Got Haas behind him. Looks like it's Lennon going for another lap. Let's keep an eye on Seigert ahead of him, though. He is going to be setting the time. It's a slow one, so whether it's an in lap, I think it looks like an in lap to me. We all hope Kevin's had a good evening. Let's stay on with Lennon then. See how he gets on. Oh no, he's behind. Silly me. We'll go back on with Bellamy. He's going for another run. Validated it coming out through Brooklands. He's got a McLaren behind him closing, and he goes all the way, so he's pulled out of the lap. There's Dan speeding up behind him. Let's keep an eye with Lennon then to set his first quali time of season 28. Hugs that inside of Luffield. And you need a good exit coming out of Brooklands, and he's pulled out of that lap as well. One, two drivers not happy with their runs. What can Benja do then? Try not invalidating this attempt. It's looking like a busy track. Drivers getting out of the way as much as possible. It's difficult to know where to put your car. The racing line's slightly different and goes up to P7 with a 27.9. Let's keep on with Zombie then. You can't join with that name. Are you going to tell me who you are? Probably not. Easily done. Right, just remove them from chat, because we've got people that have got nothing better to do with their time than, instead of watching a great race, is happy just to create a brand new account just to pee people off. Easily removed. they're just jealous, and I'm really proud of the league and the people that are part of it. They're the sort of people that they've got such ugly personalities that when their mum dropped them off at school, she got fined for littering. So keep an eye on Keyser. He's set fastest first sector, and so she hasn't really got a good setup. But let's see how he can get on. Dan Morris got himself up to P2, 27.4. I missed that one, being distracted by some goons. Matt Mann up to P3, 27.5. So Callum's got a whole second on the rest of the pack, which shows his dominance. And I wouldn't be surprised if he would try and start from the back as he extends it to 26.2. Keys are coming round the final sector out of Village, and then it's flat out through the final couple of corners. We'll have a bit of a slipstream off the kick Sauber as he comes round out of the final corner, crosses the line up to P7, 27.8. So gets above his teammate. So gets invalidated again. Cat's got up to P3. Brilliant, showing early season form. And he's getting slipstream, giving a slipstream to his teammate. Look at that for team play. You love to see it. Not like Ahmadi needs it, but brilliant. I always love to see it. First and maybe only lap from Ahmadi. Dan wants Callum to retire, so Dan goes on pole. I think they are him and Ahmadi potentially. Oh, locks up at loop. That could have cost him a couple of seconds. He's just coming around the final couple of corners. And goes straight into the pits. Bellamy's invalidated again. He's struggling to keep it within the line. So can Lennon's get himself onto the timing board? We've got about 4 minutes left to go. I think if I can see through yellow, 4.5. I'm not rising to anyone. And he's invalidated. Sorry, he's gone up to P7. 27.8. Brilliant first lap from him. Zombie in the reserving from Picnic this week. Raced with us last week on the first race. And Callum has retired from the session. So he will be. Evening Keys to Geezer. How you doing, my friend? Good first lap. As Zombie gets himself above his teammate. Josh, who's taken up the sour seat from Door. And up to P13. For everyone in the pits at the moment. They're doing one last run. So I think I'm a D. Maybe either messed his lap up or he's just putting a setup on and starting at the rear. We shall see. Callum has retired. Everyone just biding the time, 1 or 2 doing an out lap. We've got Josh ahead. Maybe let Amadi through. He's coming right up his rear. Amadi will have to leave him plenty of space. I don't know if he knows that Amadi's quicker than a wig in a hurricane. It's probably better letting him through, as he does. Everyone coming out now. You can see them all just coming out on their out lap. This is going to be tasty. Amadi's going to be the first one. Oh, Sygate is on a lap. We'll stay with Sygate. Come on, Sygate, get yourself a time, my friend. I don't think he's done too much practice as yet. He's coming around Luffield and Brooklands. Getting a little bit of a slipstream off his teammate. Oh, you love to see it. Brilliant teammate there from Caps Lock. He's all the way down in P12. The Sygate is coming around the final couple of corners. Will get a time on the board. So at the moment, he will get higher than 17th. Crosses the line. And goes P12 ahead of his teammate. The 28.111. Amadi now. He's coming through the second sector. Bombing it round Cops. And he's gone wide. He's in the grass. And that's going to hamper his time. And he's not going to get a quick one. And that's him done unless he's got enough time to get round for another lap. I'll stick on with Josh then. Currently a 28.2. He's doing just behind his teammate. Can he improve? He's getting congested. Around his final few corners. Foot to the floor. Crosses the line. And stays P15. Caps Lock's invalidated, so is he going to get over the line in time? Does he have enough fuel in his car? Let's see if Terry's can improve. Currently P9. Crosses the line, goes up to P5, 27.6. Invalidation from Benja, so he's not going to improve. Next up is Jax Daniels. He can drive better than 11. P2, 27 flat. Katames goes up to P5, 27.4. What can Josh do? Has not improved on his time. Next up is Matman, who's straight in the pit, so he's not going to improve. Giza, currently P10, will start high as P10, but he's above his teammate. Cats to start P4, above his feline friend. Briddy next is almost 3/10 up, goes up to P3. P3 for Briddy. Dan Morris will start P4 just behind him. We've got two more cars. Josh is in the pits. What will Lennon do? Lennon up to P5. And Callum will start on pole with Jax joining him on the front row. Honestly, guys, like, you surely must be sad guys, or children aged 10, to have nothing better to do on a Wednesday than keep creating accounts to try and hinder something that you're not part of anymore. So, bye. I'll just keep removing you. You're not bothering me. I'll just keep removing you. Bye. So, I think there's a discussion between the quick boys of who would start at the back. And What's going on there? I don't know what's going on with it. Thellamy's apparently starting on P2, but Callum starts on pole with a 26.2. Jack Daniels joins him on the front row. Brady and Dan Morris on row 2. Lennon and Katz on row 3. Katami's P7, Ratman P8, Terry's P9, and Keys rounds off the top 10. Benja 11, Sygate P12, good squad for him. Capstock P13, who's out of order. Zombie 14th, Josh 15th, both Salvers together. Thellamy and D at the back, both invalidating their times. Thalladay, I don't think I can invite you yet. I'll try and do it. Oh, he's back in. Good. So Thellamy actually lagged out, and we, as mentioned in the chat, we do have a dry race. And hopefully no one presses go too early as drivers sort out their setups, sort out their fuel loads, adjust their bias. He's telling me can't choose a strategy or fuel. I got lagged out, unfortunately, but it'll be a good challenge to see what he can do. Silverstone, of course, had its first GP in 1948, as you're all aware, and was part of the first F1 World Championship in 1950. Someone's clicked go. Yeah, well, we'll try and find out who it was. If so, hopefully someone owns up. Someone's readied up. And we are on the formation lap. And I'm a D starting on softs. Going to look racy at the back with Brady, the only one to go on the alternate strategy. Everyone else on mediums. It's going to be interesting. I've no idea how this is going to turn out. And Silverstone, one of the most traditional and favourite tracks on the calendars for drivers and fans. It's the home of Aston Martin HQ, of course, and it's a track that's actually owned by drivers, the members of the Royal Automobile Club, where it's only comprised of successful British drivers. 5.8 kilometre circuit, 18 corners, 10 to the left and 8 to the right. I had to double check that. With 2 DRS zones, one down the Hangar and down the Wellington. Both the Saubers coming together and will be sitting on the grids, letting the tyres go out of temperature. Josh is had a doozy, and he's most likely the one that's pressed go as well, as everyone gets into their grid slot. Callum at the front with Jack Daniels joining him here on the front row. Callum's raced round in the reserve and in the Williams today for oh god, I thought I was going to fucking sneeze. Reserving for Benedict. As everyone is getting in their grid slot. Cat's P6, Katami 7, Madman and Terry's together. The 2 Mercedes together as well. The 2 Aston Martins together. The 2 Saubers together. I didn't notice that until now. With Thellamy and D at the back. No one's really raced properly on this reverse circuit, as everyone just getting into the grid slot. Many have compromised their starts by not parking in a slot properly, but the engines are roaring. It's 3, 4, 5, and what? The lights didn't even go out, but they're gone. And Katz is up to P1, caught everyone off guard. Callum has okay, crazy. Yellow flag, but everyone seems to go in a little bit of bumping wheels as everyone's trying to navigate Stowe, but Katz is at the front. Callum is doing a last to first, I think that caught everyone by guard of doing that. Got himself off track. As everyone's gone single file. I'm just trying to set on myself. As Katami's trying to make a move on Lennon. But Katz has broke away from the two McLarens. Got a yellow fog and Thelemy is out. Coming down. I think he's just retired, and that's Josh going wide into the grass. Geezer's lost a couple of positions, going offline as well. Doesn't seem to have damage. As Benja making a move on Sygate. Coming out of Brooklands. Amity already up to P12 on those softs. And has a look on the inside of Sygate. Sygate defending very well. And Doe on the inside of Benja. I think he broke late. Went too deep. Benja's lost a couple of positions now to D and Callum. And Katz is still leading. Hasn't broke that DRS, which is now active on the second lap. Run lap 2 out of 26. And we've got a train all the way down to Sygate. Capstock getting past Sygate now as the Aston Martin of Sygate riding the curb and has lost a loads of positions trying to get out of everyone's way and not compromise their races. Went flying in the air. Jackstone's closed in on Katz. Trying to navigate Beckett's and Maggots, and I think track limits penalties will play their part today as everyone's trying to get used to the new way round. Everyone running fantastic. Zombie and Benja exchanging positions. Benja making a move, coming out round Cops and then down to Woodcote. Brilliant move from Zombie. Benja just losing a little bit of traction, just hampered his teammate a little bit. McLaren's in the bread sandwich of the Saubers. Keezer looking to make a move now on the inside of Aintree. Breaks late, has the inside of loop. Brilliant move from Keezer, getting himself ahead of his teammate. I don't think Benja held him up too much, and I think getting out of his way has let Josh through as Jack Danielson takes provisional fastest lap of the race. Running P2, and Katz is the leader of this train, all the way down to P11 to Callum. But he's just been dropped, so he gets back in. Otherwise he won't have DRS and he'll be under threat from Lennon. Katz has got that big gap. McLaren boys will want to work together to try and close that gap on the Visa RB. That man's still ahead of his teammate, sticking with Katami's ahead. And Katstock has gone offline. And has broke from that second and has been looking in his mirrors as Callum looks to make a move on Armadi. Oh, that was tight. Brilliant overtake from Callum coming on the outside of Cops. You don't see it often there. And Callum now getting himself up to P10 as starting from the back with these pair. We do have the Performance League running alongside the main championship, and they won't get the points for that for intentionally starting at the back, but we'll get the points for finishing. So interesting to see how they get on as Callum now sets the provisional fastest. That Cap's still in the lead. Front 9 as they were. Capstock managed to keep Callum and D behind him. Defending very well in the Aston. It'll be quite interesting to see how, as Sygate's christens the board with the first track limits penalty. It'll be interesting to see how tyre wear is rampant on this. As Callum on the inside of Chapel. Brilliant overtake from Callum. Capstock saw him coming as the Kick Sauber drivers changed places as well. And are pushing Keys around Beckett's and Maggots. Capslock is trying to defend from Callum and D. He's got suffered himself a penalty. Probably hasn't had that much practice. He's just recently moved to the UK and had his rig in storage. He's only had it out for the last few hours. No one's in a train going down to Aintree. Not quite there. Cat's still leading the way. Can he keep everyone behind him at bay? Briddy, you'd probably say, is the one that's in the best position at the moment. Doing the alternate strategy. Sticking with the front runners on the hards. And the lone runner for Alpine is Bellamy, unfortunately lagged out. I could not attach his setup. Silent drivers everywhere. Oh no, Sidegate, no! Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, dude. I don't know what to say. This game can be absolutely wonderful sometimes and an absolute nightmare on others. And we'll have to launch Katamise into the wall, blame him, and tell him to get onto some of the devs. Sidegate cut the corner, probably trying to get himself back on track. Oh, just staying off the grass as the Sauber drivers side by side. And the Zombies ahead. Good little battle between this inter-team battle. Yeah, I've never seen it for anything. I've never seen that before, where you've qualified where you are and then it just completely glitches for everybody else. But yeah, we'll have a laugh about it in the Discord later, I'm sure. But I hope you enjoy watching the race. Cheer on Briddy. I'm cheering on Briddy. He's in a good position at the moment. As Callum on the inside of Terry's. Going round Club. As the McLaren boys exchange places and Dan gets himself now ahead of Jax Daniels. And they both dropped out of the DRS. There's Briddy now all over the back of Jax Daniels. He's going to look on the inside of Chapel. Oh, he's keeping it as it is now as that train slightly broken. Katamise's tyres look like they're wearing a little bit. And he's got Matman all over his gearbox. Matman is catching Katamise because Katamise is now 2 seconds behind P5 of Lennon. And Matman will be waiting for the Wellington Straight. As Lennon looking on the inside of Briddy, gets out to P4, brilliant overtake at Woodcote. A Haas driver on his league season 28 debut. He's got himself up to P4. And Dan has pulled the gap back on Cats. Within the DRS is Briddy and Lennon side by side. Briddy has the inside, and pulls out as it's a tight corner at loop. Brilliant battle between the Haas and Alpine driver. Callum part of the Matman and Katamise train pulling Terry's across. Amadee stuck behind Capslock. Just can't get past him. It's a brilliant defence from Capslock. Matman foul. Matman takes a quick look before Stowe, but knows we've got DRS coming. Will he have better launch of line? It looks like Callum does, and that goes on the left hand side on the outside of Chapel. Matman slots in his slipstream, and Callum now up to P7. Side by side through Beckett and Maggots for Lennon and Brady, and Lennon stays ahead. Brave driving from these pair. Have managed to avoid contact going through the S-bends. It does mean they've dropped out of that race for the top three. Briddy. Oh, on the inside of Woodcote. Brilliant overtake as well. We've seen a lot of overtakes there. And everyone must be getting brilliant launches coming out of Cops. He's giving us a good indication of where the overtakes are as Zombie has dropped it going around Loffield. And down to P16. But keep going, my friend. As Matman and Katamise. What's happened to Katamise is the first one to... Oh, and Amadi, sorry. Both pitting, and Amadi sped in the pit lane. Wow, wow, wow. Italian hand gesture. Both Amadi getting off the softs and Katamise off the mediums. Dan Morris closing in, has dropped his teammate as well. So Dan Morris going strong. But he's staying ahead of Lennon as Lennon gets himself a track limit. And Callum now up to P6 in the Williams. Had a good launch out of Cox, which you've seen many times in the first 7 laps, but not making an overtake as of yet. Everyone seems to have settled, and Dan Morris right on the gearbox of Katz now. Katz has been doing a brilliant job of staying ahead. Dan Morris closing in, not quite there to make a move, but keeping Katz honest. And will one of them be looking at doing an undercut? We don't actually know the strategy. Is it a 1-stop or a 2-stop? What is the wear like? As it remains, Daniel is closing, and he'll be looking for trying to make a move out of the hangar as Callum now gets past Lennon up to P5 and just showing some extreme raw pace. It'll be credit to him for getting a potential race win from starting from the back. But he also just shown that he is a class above the rest of the field. Amadi going on to the mediums. So he's likely to be on a 2-stopper, and Katamise going on the hards. Is he going to try and go to the end? Who knows? There's Dan Morris coming round Cops. Chasing Katz. Katz is having a brilliant drive so far in this first stint. Managed to get himself into the lead. Past both McLarens and has stayed there. Brady is closed on Jax, so Jax's tyres are slightly wearing off now. He's the cork in the bottle. All the way down to Lennon. And he's going to be under threat from Brady. Is Brady going to look at making a move? No, he's not close enough. Keep an eye on Sygate and Josh. Oh, what's going on with Josh there? His wheel went too far right. Has ended up on the grass. What have you done that for, you silly sausage? As Jackson's gone into the pits now. Yeah, his tyre's definitely going. And will be potentially going onto the hard. So looking to do an early undercut, and does go onto the hards. And will come out ahead of Amadi. It's a long pit lane. 37 seconds. As Amadi's coming round club now. Jack Jones is still coming out. It's gonna be close, and Amadi will go. Jax is ahead on those fresher tyres. Dan Morris pushing Cats round Loffield and Brooklands. Can he make a move now? He needs a good launch coming out of this corner. DRS is open, foot to the floor. Is there DRS on this? I don't think there's DRS on this straight. Hasn't seemed like it. I'll have to ask the drivers. Callum up to P3 with Jax pitting now. As Katz decides to pit, and that puts Dan Morris into the lead of the race. And a bit of fresh air. I wouldn't be surprised if he pitted this lap. Italian hand gesture for caps lock, speeding in the pit lane. Wow, wow, wow. Everyone's going through. Benji all over Sygate. With Josh going off. Oh, and getting himself for track limits. Okay, he lost him a couple of positions. He's now behind his teammate. What's it going to be with Katz and Jax Daniels? Katz has come out ahead of Jax by 3.5 seconds. So similar pit stop, didn't lose much time. But Jax has to defend from Amadi. Callum getting past. Briddy up to P2 now. Briddy want to stay with Callum. Get pulled along in the DRS. Have a bit of extra speed. Doing well at the moment for the Alpine team. Cat's getting past Josh. At Woodcote, it seems the corner to make the move. We've seen quite a few moves. And Cat's is the latest one, up to P11. And we'll next iron up Zombie, as Dan Morris does now pit. And it'll be interesting to see where did he manage to put a bit of extra time. Lennon and Terry's both jumping in the pits too. Matman carries on. And promotes himself up to P3, going for a longer first stint. Keys are up to P4 now. Teammate with him as well. They'll have to coordinate their pit stops. There is a decent gap, so they don't double stack. Sygate's in, Josh is in. There's Jax and Daniel side by side. Dan comes out ahead, just ahead of him and Amadi. So very, very good pit stop from Dan. But finds himself 3 seconds behind Katz. So Katz doing a major undercut. And now got himself provisionally a decent gap at the lead of the race. It's Amadi getting past Jax Daniels through Beckett's and Maggots. A brilliant overtake on the medium compounds, which will wear, and he'll have to pit again. Does have that 10-second penalty too. Finds himself in the middle of the McLarens. Can the McLarens work together to try and put him off? They need to close the gap on Katz, as Callum's got himself a track limits as well for speeding in the pit lane. Now this guy can be quick, but he can't outrun a penalty. As Amadi gets himself up to P8 ahead of Dan Morris. So that, and Matman goes in the pits as well, followed by Keyser. Benj is going in too, and gets himself a track Italian hand, speeding in the pit lane. Wow, 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 and it's all going majorly chaotic now. Briddy going, he's taking the lead of the race on the alternate strategy. Zombie's carrying on, but he's got Katz for company. He's going to be looking to make a move with the aid of DRS now. I don't think Zombie's going to battle too hard, as it's all been mixed up with all the pit stops now. And Zombie defending well here from Katz. He's going to be looking in the mirror at his teammate and Callum, Dan and Jax. This is for track position. Zombie running in P2. Oh, Katz almost going too wide, following the Sauber, and makes a lunge on the inside of Luffield. Has better traction on it with his tyres and makes the move. Brilliant overtake from Katz. And now there's some fresh air. A little glitch there from Zombie, but it's a bit of a gap and a stopper between him and Callum behind, who's now going to be racing wheel to wheel with Amadi. McLaren's, oh, Callum looked like he run a little deep. Just defends his position from Amadi as Josh now pits. So that's a good sign there from the Williams as they all go through. Lennon goes through, currently P7. We've got a yellow flag. It's a Sauber. I think it's Josh. He lost it coming out of Brooklands last time, a few laps ago. It's carried on going. Good man. Zombies now down in P12 and into the pit. So the Mercedes Akiza will go through. Sygate will go through also. What do you reckon of Mapman? Where's he going to finish? Currently running P11 and all over the back of Katamis. Was his nemesis on the first stop. Defending well. Both very good at defending. Mapman needs to be good at attacking to be able to make his move. Brady now the only one that has not pit. He's got a good 21-second advantage to the cars behind. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him pit. Oh, he's pits now. Oof. It's like I predicted it. Oh, don't know why. That was a mad stop. He hasn't got a penalty. So Cats retain the lead of the race. And will try and defend as much as possible. Lap 15 out of 26. Both will be able to the end of the race. I don't think Armour D will be able to. I'll be surprised. But then he just needs to stay within that 10 seconds of both, who both have penalties. Dan still ahead of Jax as the lead. McLaren for now. And Lennon closing in. Just over 2 seconds behind in P6. Brady's come out in P8. And right behind Terry's Reds, who's doing well. Currently the lead driver for Ferrari. And Brady will want to make mincemeat of Terry's. Caps Lock running a lowly P9. There's early defence from Callum, and as Jax makes the move on Dan Morris at Woodcote. Yeah, it's definitely the corner. Brilliant overtake and switch positions from the McLarens, who don't want to hamper each other too much. They want to close the gap on the drivers ahead, who's Callum's all over Cats. As Dan gets himself a track limits, as Brady makes the move on Terry's. Down to Aintree. Mapman, is he going to make the move on Katamis? Down to Aintree. Mapman has the inside. A brilliant wheel to wheel with. Oh, what did Katamis do? Missed his braking point. And he's cutting the grass. He's going to get a penalty for that. He's going to have to let Mapman through, which he does. Just missed his braking point, and luckily Mapman's kept on going. Don't know if he's got much damage to his wing. I think it is a bunt, so it shouldn't have been too much. So I get going on that track limits. Yeah, Dan Morris getting himself a track limits as well, which battling with his teammate, which is just a tenth behind, going through Beckett's and Maggots. Sticking to each other like glue. They're now 2 seconds behind the front runners. I know all that carnage with Katamis is Callum's taking the lead of the race. Indeed getting himself a track limits. So Cats just needs to stay with Callum. I'll be interested to see how this unfolds. I think everyone will be rooting for Cats to get the race win, which if he does stay within that 10 seconds, it's his. This is it. Don't get scared now. As Katamis retake it. Oh, what have they done? What have they done? This could be a potential one for the stewards, I believe. As Keezer Geezer's capitalised on Mapman going off track. And up to P11. The three-way battle here now for P10. Be interesting to see the POVs. It's getting tasty between the Red Bull and the Ferrari drivers. Mapman's just dropped a little bit. Doesn't seem to have wing damage. As the McLaren drivers switching positions with the aid of DRS. And look like they're just gradually closing the gap on the Armadillo ahead. Down now up to P4. All the while, Lennon closing the gap now 1.8 seconds. And he's got Briddy all behind him. It's Briddy on the inside of Cops. They're side by side, banging wheels. Managed to both stay on track. It's a tight corner. 3 wide round Luffield. Briddy's ahead. Haas on the inside. And Terry's just slotting him behind. Excuse me. Whoa, that was had my heart going a bit. Both not giving up on Cops, and it's a tricky one to try and go side by side through, but both have made it through. And Lennon and Terry's will try again on the Alpine. Briddy up to P6 on the fresher mediums. Whoa. As Ahmed D now pitting, he'll be getting rid of that 10 seconds as well in his pit stop. As predicted, he's doing a 2-stopper, so promotes Dan up to P3 and Jack's up to P4. Briddy now in P5 ahead of Lennon. Katz is now 3 seconds behind Callum. Still in the pits there, not having the work on his car, so he's going to end up at the back, Amedy. Callum has now broken that air from Katz. Just needs to stay. He's 18. He's got 8 laps to go. It's going to be hard for him to stay within that 10 seconds. But he does have a good gap to try and keep this P2 comfortable. I'll be hoping for Callum to have a bit of a mare in the next few laps or so. So McLaren's sticking with each other like jizz to a tissue. Zombie and getting ahead of Sygate. Ben just going through as well. Sygate's going slightly offline. And lost a couple of positions. Now down to P14. And we'll see on his telemetry. Armady behind him. As Matman make side by side with Keyser. It's actually 3 wide. Matman getting his wing clipped. Was he left enough room? Did he have right to the corner? But all getting bunched up at loop. And Cat stays ahead. Katamis and Keyser and Matman retain formation. I think it'll be very soon where Bellamy says he should go in the RB. Matman looking to make moves on Keyser. Keyser had a really bad drive out of Stowe. Matman ahead at Chapel. Brilliant overtake from Matman. Keyser saw him coming. There's nothing he could do. And Matman will be behind Katamis now. Return of the white ball. Keyser going deep on Cops. Managed to keep his car going. I think the groundsman will be happy as Matman going deep on Katamis. Tries a bit of a switchback. Coming through Luffield. He's trying to force this on Katamis. As on the outside, switches positions on the outside of Aintree. Tries to switch back. Katamis has defended the corner. Matman pushing hard on the Red Bull driver. Trying everything he can to try and get past Katamis. Matman's got a brilliant launch. Managed to make the overtake. Oh, was he left enough room? I think he was. I don't think he was too sure. And Keys has managed to take the position back. And now we've got a 5 car with Zombie and Benja joining the party as well. Benja's managed to make a move on Zombie up to P12. As Zombie's line was compromised. As Keys is now defending from Matman. Terry's making a move at Woodcote on Lennon. But we'll jump back to Matman and Keyser. As Matman's got to look in his gearbox for the Mercedes behind as well. Benja's got a good exit. Briddy's managed to overtake Jackson. Jackson's gone off circuit. Was he left enough room from the French driver? And Zombie and Benja exchange positions again. Oh, it's a fierce battle here for P9. With Katamise, the cork in the bottle. Matman getting a better exit again. Down the Wellington. Not close enough to make a move as yet. Callum now 7.5 seconds ahead of Katz with 5 laps to go. Can Katz keep within that 10 seconds? We've got 7 drivers here with Sygate and Amadi having the fun too. I bet the drivers will be absolutely loving this. Palms sweating as Keyser rides the curb on club. Benjamin Amadi so tight. Keyser almost side by side with Katamise. Katamise getting, I think he's doing the ERS, saving it to burn down the straight. As Amadi getting ahead of the Mercedes driver up to P13. So these are going to try and figure out how to get past Katamise as Matman gets... He's looking on the outside of Cops, but thinks better of it. Inside of Woodcote for Matman on. Keyser, a brilliant overtake from the Ferrari driver again. Locks up though. Keyser's having a look on the inside of Brooklands. Can he retake the position? He does. Brilliant switch back from Keyser. Meanwhile, Amadi goes through on Zombie. Side by side. It couldn't be any closer as Matman retakes position on the inside of Aintree. Brilliant overtake from the Ferrari driver. Amadi on the inside of Keyser. Keyser's getting squeezed and almost takes the wing off the Zombie, but stays ahead of the Sauber driver. Matman's got to look in his rear view as Sygate and Benja at the back of this train as Sygate gets himself ahead of Benja up to 14th. What a battle we've got on here. Matman now, I bet his teeth are clenched. Katamise has a slow exit coming out of club. And Matman finally makes a move on Katamise. And does he have the aid of DRS? He does. Katamise will try and retake the position. We'll have a look at P3 as Briddy, side by side with Dan Morris, coming out of Brooklands. Briddy up to P3 on those new medium tyres. And brilliant drive from the Frenchman. McLaren sticking with him, and the Cat's still within that 10 seconds. Matman's retained P9 and give himself half a second on Katamise. Oh, Amadi, is that a tap from Katamise, or has he just lost traction coming round Woodcote? Managed to keep his car on track, but that could have ended in disaster, and Katamise has gone off coming around Brooklands, and it would have ended in tears. Unless he's trying to give a position back and put his hands up. But Matman now has the lead of this train. Zombie is. Keyser is. Did Matman make a mistake? So Keyser's now the leader of this train up to P9. And we'll have Zombie behind him. And Katz is now out of that 10-second mark. And Callum is in a league of his own. Lap 23 of 26. 3.5 laps to go. And as you can see, penalties are playing their part and will play their part on final track positions. I think there's a chance here for Terry's, if he can stay within that DRS of Jax Daniels, to get himself a podium. We'll have a quick look at penalties. 3 seconds, so he needs to stay within 3 seconds of Briddy. I'm sure he'll be pushing hard. I'll be rooting for him. It'd be a first podium for the Ferrari driver. Amadi now making a move. That will coat on Amadi. I'm absolutely sweating. There's been some brilliant action here as Lennon's joined the party as well for a battle for P3. Brady has got Dan Morris all over his gearbox and Dan's getting close enough to make a move. At Chapel, not quite yet. But he's tickling his arse as. Terrace has pulled himself back in to play for that podium position. As Katami is now going into the pit and potentially going for a fastest lap attempt. Damage limitation for the Red Bull driver. It seems to have settled now. Lennon will try and make a last rush for the last couple of laps. As Amadi making a move through Beckett's and Maggotts on Sidegate. A brilliant overtake from the Visa RB. And Sidegate's got a Benja for company behind him. What's happened to Zombie? And Zombie has crashed out going around Woodcote. Surely it's too late for a safety car. And that's unfortunate from the Sauber driver. Did so well, got to the 24th lap. And whether that, I don't know if that was himself or contact with another. As his teammate goes through up to P14. We are in the penultimate lap. Callum's got a 14-second advantage. Terry's needs to get past Jack Daniels to have any chance of a podium. What's he got? 1.5. He's got 2.1 seconds. We'll all be rooting for Terry's. Amadi getting past Matman up to P10. Loss of traction there on the exit of Vale from Matman. But we'll have DRS down the hangar straight. Oh, what's happened? Terry's is under threat from Lennon. And he won't want that at this stage. It'll potentially cost him a podium. Lennon pushing him down towards Aintree, not making a move as yet. Terry's doesn't need this now as Callum starts the final lap. Briddy running P3. He's got Dan Morris all over the back of him. This is potential fight for a podium. As Briddy goes wide, goes deep, and Dan Morris goes through up to P3. Mistake there from Briddy, and I don't think he's close enough to with the aid of DRS. Jack Daniels will have slipstream from Briddy. He's close enough to get enough warrant. As Terry's has got his DRS open. Can he make a move? Oh, I thought he was going to go. I thought he was going to do what Matman did a couple of laps ago. Not quite there, but he's all over the back of Jack Daniels. So close for a podium here for Terry's. I can't speak. I can't speak. Jackson's holding him up, I think, slightly. Is he holding him up to give Jack, his teammate the podium? It could be a bit of team play here, which you can't discredit it for him. As Lennon gets himself a penalty. Amadi getting ahead of Giza, gets himself up to P9. Going through Chapel, brilliant overtake from him. Benja gets himself a track limits on the final lap. As we go on to Callum and congratulate him for his race win. Katamies does get fastest lap with a 28.6. Big congratulations, Cats getting P2 at Silverstone reverse. Dan Morris will cross the line in P3. And I think that will be P3 for him. Briddy comes home P4. Terry's gets P4. Briddy P5. Jack's P6. Lennon P7. Caps Lock, who's just had a bit of a lonely race, to be fair. He's coming round Abbey for the final time. and will come home P8. Armady, who's had a bit of a torrent affair. Penalties here, left, right and centre. I think Jax did hold, potentially. Terry's up a bit to give down the podium. I wouldn't put past him, as Armady will get P9. Eclipsed by Keys and Mapman, who gets 9 and 10. So Armady 11th. Solid race. And Ben dropped to P12. Sygate down to 13. Katames will take P15, and Josh here will take P14. And what a storm of race. That was absolutely brilliant, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. You saw the strategy in play on that first stint, and then how it unfolded over that second half of the race. Some brilliant, close, wheel-to-wheel action. And top step goes to Callum. And will take the race win. The last of first race. Congratulations to him. Fastest lap does go to Katames. Getting his driver of the day to Armady. Of course, it is a driver's vote. And Callum takes the race win. I was rooting on Katz to try and stay within 10 seconds, but he does take P2, and theoretically he does take the unofficial race win if Callum did not exist. Dan Morris comes home in P3 and gets us off a fantastic podium. Terry's so close to getting his first podium, P4. Brady P5, Jack Daniels 6, Lennon P7, Katslock up P8, P9, 4, Kiza Giza, and Matman P10. Armady P11 had many penalties and many pit stops. Benja P12, Sygate 13th, Josh will come home 14th, and Katames 15th, 28.6, fastest lap with Zombie and Thelemy, unfortunately, retiring from the race. Yeah, what the hell with the start lights? I'm the same. Well, that was a fantastic. I imagine I was absolutely sweating, and the drivers on track were absolutely sweating. And we'll be sweating even more next week as we're heading to Miami, y'all. And it will be the first of our special races this season. And it's a sprint race. So if you want to catch that action, want to join us at Lights Out League Racing. My name's Alex. Peace out.